Hey there, welcome to DIY Projects with Pete. Today we're going to build a frame for a canvas. This is a fun and simple project. You can customize it to any size you want, and the canvases can be ordered from picture'em.com. Today I'm doing this project with my good buddy, Dustin, and he's gonna put this in his clinic. So let's go ahead and get started with today's project.
The first step is to rip the boards down to size for the inside portion of the frame. For this project, the canvas size is 8 feet wide by 3 feet tall by 1.5 inches in depth. So we decided to go with a pretty hefty frame for this project. I used some old weathered decking, which had the gray Barnwood type look, but you could use new lumber and then either stain, paint, or give it a weathered type finish. We cut the 2x6 boards down to 3 inches wide using a table saw. Since 2x6 boards actually measure 1.5 inches, the thickness was already the same depth as the 1.5 inch thick canvas. We then ripped the remaining part of each 2x6 board down to 1 7/8 inches for the outside portion of the frame's depth. This extra 3/8 of an inch gives the frame some added dimension. Lastly, we ripped the 1 7/8 inch wide outer frame boards down the center so they measured roughly 3/4 of an inch in width by 1 7/8 inches in depth. Take your time with this process. Next, use a miter saw to create the 45-degree angles for each corner. We started by cutting the boards a little long to do a rough test fit and to make sure we had plenty of length. If you are using reclaimed wood, make sure it's free of nails in the areas you'll be cutting, and then test fit the boards to the frame and finally cut them to the perfect size. Attach the corners of the inside part of the frame, pre-drill the holes, and then connect the mitered corners using a combination of 3-inch long wood screws and wood glue. Use about 3 or 4 screws and glue at each corner. Continue to line up the canvas to the boards as you move around the corners to ensure everything lines up and is square. Attach the boards to the canvas using about 2.5-inch long wood screws from the actual canvas frame to the larger frame we are creating. As you move around each corner, continue to glue, pre-drill, and then attach the corners with wood screws. You can wipe away any excess glue as needed using a damp rag. Then attach the canvas frame to the larger wood frame with wood screws about every 12 inches. Finish connecting all the corners, and then we'll get ready to attach the outside trim for the frame. Apply wood glue to the outside portion of the inner frame, then line up and attach the outer trim. The back of the trim should sit flush with the back of the frame. The front of the trim will protrude about 3/8 of an inch from the inner wood frame to create some dimension. Attach the trim using a nailer or hammer and nails. I'm using a Ryobi airstrike nailer and 1.5-inch long 18-gauge nails. Continue adding trim as you work your way around the frame. If you are using reclaimed wood or barnwood and have any exposed edges, you can blend them in by distressing or giving them a weathered look using your method of choice. I simply used a torch to darken the exposed area and then attached it. Only about 3/8 of an inch on the 2 end pieces needed to be blended. Then glue and continue adding trim around the frame. Lastly, we blended the exposed edges on the top and bottom, which will rarely be seen. We're able to save on wood a bit by blending the exposed edges. And that's all there is to it. Hang your canvas and enjoy.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in to DIY Projects with Pete. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. For the complete tutorial, head over to DIYPete.com/canvas frames. Thanks so much for watching, and cheers from Montana.
Please check out some of the other videos on the channel. Click on the left thumbnail to learn how to build a simple cutting board, and on the right thumbnail to learn how to create a chalkboard coat rack. Cheers!